Hey guys, HuShang here. Welcome to another Starcraft 2 lesson. In today's video, we're going to be covering Terran versus Protoss, and we're going to be covering this matchup all week actually. You guys voted in a poll, and this is the matchup you wanted to see, so we're going to be covering this quite a bit. Today I have a fun replay. It's against a Master 1 Protoss. It's kind of standard, but it also showcases some obnoxious tech paths in play that I see quite a bit at the Diamond and Masters level, so we're going to cover that. But before we get there, if you like all the content I'm putting out, you can support this channel by getting one-on-one lessons with me. I do offer a bunch of coaching, so if you want to do that, I'll leave a link in the comments. You can also support this channel using the join button, which is pretty new. It's beside the subscribe on YouTube, and that's going to give you access to lots of extra HuShang tutorials content. And then lastly, you can support this channel just by liking and subscribing. With that out of the way, let's get into the guide. Alright, so here we are playing against a Master 1 Protoss. I'm just opening up with a Rack's first opening. I'm actually going to be using the beginner friendly Terran opening. I'm going to be using this opening all week, I think. And we're just going to go over some macro games, maybe defending some cheeses, but a lot of Terran vs Protoss this week. So if you don't know which build I'm using, go check out my other video. It's actually my most popular video, I think. I'll link it above. So go check that out if you don't know about it. But it's a very easy build order. You don't have to scout. You don't have to know what your opponent's doing at all. You just kind of follow the build order. And it's very safe against everything. So really nice, easy way to learn the game. There are some problems doing this though, for me at least, because I'm not going to get any damage with this opening. It's basically just a safe macro opening where I'm not going to ever get any damage against Protoss. So if I did open up with something a little more aggressive, like, I don't know, Hellions or Banshees, Mind Drop even, I'm going to be getting a lot of damage in my games. Whereas with this opening, I'm not going to get any damage ever, right? Because there's no attacks.
Add-on complete.
But I think this is actually the best way to learn the game, because you're going to get a really good feel for when you can go kill your opponent, how you're supposed to be progressing into the mid game, and yeah, just kind of learn the basics, and then you can add in some aggressive stuff later once you really understand what you're supposed to be doing. So my factory is finishing up here. I've made a couple Marines. I really like this opening with just the Marine first, because you get these 3 Marines and you can defend the Adept without even having the bunker. So it's kind of a nice way to get into this stage of the game pretty easily. And I'm going to be making a fast Viking, so if they go Oracle, you can use that to kill it. So because of that, we can get a very fast tank. And when I was making this opening, I wanted to make it really easy to defend a lot of this early stuff for newer players. So I think this is really nice. You don't really have to worry about Parting's 4-gate blink or anything like that, because you're going to have 2 tanks way before they even arrive. And then we queue up a Viking. And I'm just going to keep it on my cam. Hopefully it's not too jittery for everybody. But I'm going to make another tank here in a second once I have the money. And I literally have no idea what Protoss is doing, but it's totally fine. I suppose I should be sending a scout. I'm being a little greedy in this game, actually. I normally do a 17 worker scout just to make sure they're not doing any proxies, but besides that, you don't really need... You just need to know they've expanded, basically. Alright. I'm going to queue up a second Viking, just to be ultra safe. So this would be really good against a War Prism, an Oracle. You can even snipe observers, so pretty good against everything. You can see here he went Oracle. And yeah, we defended that pretty easily. So now we're going into our extra barracks. And I'm going to be making Widow Mines no matter what. And if they play Colossus, I'm just going to do a Widow Mine drop. Which he is playing Colossus, by the way. Maybe if they make a lot of charge lots, you can just use it in the frontal push, but generally, later in the game same Widow Mine's not too great against Colossus. So yeah, just really, really safe setup here. We're going to transfer that starport over. And we're going to start making some medevacs. I've just been making Marines so far. If you want this really detailed build order, again, just go check out the build order guide. This is more going to be about the reactions. Okay, so now I'm feeling pretty safe. We got the stim started. I guess I didn't really need to salvage that bunker so early, but feeling pretty safe here since he opened Stargate. And we're going to do a big push once we get the stim, combat shield, and +1 lined up. So that's what we're aiming for. It's a little bit old school, but this is a lot safer if you're learning the game. I don't recommend playing 3cc unless you really know what you're doing, if you're like masters or something. Okay, so medevacs are going to get queued up soon. I'm going to start making marauders in this round probably, or maybe the next round, we'll see. Pretty soon though, we're going to start up some marauders, and that'll help out a lot with tanking Colossus or just killing like blink stalkers when you move out across the map. So it's kind of mandatory that you get a couple marauder, 2 to 4, before you move out, but you don't want to make too many because early game you don't have enough gas to get all your upgrades and marauders, and it also just kind of lowers your DPS if you don't make enough Marines. So definitely want to be making Marines before this. But now we got a pretty sick army, so we're going to move out. And we're going to go push his third. He could take this third, but it's pretty trash. So most likely he's going to have this one. So see me move out for that. Behind this is actually one of the main things I want to show you guys. Behind this, you don't want to make too many Marines. Like, we're going to make a little Marines here for the next couple rounds, but you're going to see that at some point I'm going to transition over into making just a lot of the beefy units. Like, for example, you want a lot of starport units. You don't want to cut out a round of starport units just because you made a bunch of shitty little Marines. So watch for that in just a second. I'll probably highlight it. But I think that's one of the main mistakes I'm seeing a lot of Terrans make that I'm coaching. Yeah, so here I'm just making Marauder and Medevac, and that's it. Upgrade. Alright, we're setting up for this push. This is another common area to make some blunders. And I make them myself quite a lot. So you want to do a scan here and make sure that you know exactly where Protoss is. And you can see here that Protoss is like completely out of position over here. So we're going to move in. But you really want to do this scan and just make sure that Protoss is not going to be like right here and ready to jump on you. Because if you don't have your units siege in advance, then you're going to get completely wrecked. Like, you kind of have to be set up before the fight starts. So make sure you scan. If Protoss is right here, then you can just play this a lot slower, but you'll see here he's out of position, so I'm going to siege up. I don't even see him yet, but I'm already sieging because it's really, really hard to set up this army quickly. And if you're trying to set up this army right as Protoss is engaging you, then there's no way you can take this fight. It's just one of the constraints of Terran. You have to set up before they get there. So siege everything, get it all set up how you want, and then, you know, set up the fight. I'm going to slow it down. Also, I made a small mistake here. I stimmed my units. I don't think that's a good idea. I think I would much rather just have them attacking without stim and just set up for the fight and then only stim during the fight, because now I'm going to have to re-stim, which I don't want to do. Also, I probably should have had these Widow Mines more forward so I could have used the tanks. So it's honestly, it's not a great fight, but it's still going okay. He activates the super overcharge, so I'm just gonna back up here, and basically the reason we didn't win right there is just because this guy is playing way too safe. Like, normally at this MMR I should just smash them if I execute really well, but this guy's cutting some huge corners. Like, it's actually really bad what he's doing. So for one, he's not getting upgrades, forge upgrades, and he doesn't have any charge. He doesn't have a lot of things. Like, he's not making enough probes. He should have like 16 probes here. So, you know, him winning this fight and me being forced to move away is totally fine. Yield depleted. All right, back at home. Let's take a look. So you can see, I guess I'm making a couple Marines here, but I'm going to stop probably this round. And now I'm only making Marauders and Vikings. You can check out my production tab. It's basically just only Marauder Viking. This is going to give me a little bit of extra minerals to get these barracks down while still making SCVs. If you don't do this, you're going to cut something. You're going to get supply blocked, or you're going to skip SCVs, and the Marines suck anyways. So don't make them for a little bit here. Just get down your barracks, get down your E-bays, you know, spend money on all this stuff you actually need. And then once you get all of that, then you can remake Marines if you have extra money. But I probably don't even have extra money for a couple rounds here. So really, really nice tip for you guys. I think a lot of people are probably not doing that, but it's really, really good. Okay. Now we're going to build up to like 16-ish workers here. I've been trying this a little bit lately, is just getting... Not really taking these gases super fast because I want to kill Protoss ASAP. Don't want to spend a lot of time in this game. So we're going to set up for some sweet push on Protoss's 4th. And yeah, that's kind of the plan here. Okay, so these are finishing up. We're going to go... I'm going to go double Tech Lab. I've been trying this out a little bit as well. Normally, you go Tech Lab and Reactor, unless you're playing Colossus. But I've been trying out double Tech Lab. So, copy me, don't copy me. I don't know if it's that good yet. We'll see. And I also make another huge blunder here. I don't get the upgrades on time. So, kind of a sloppy game, actually. Maybe that's better for teaching. Next thing I'm going to be doing is adding in some Liberators. The reason I'm doing this is because I know he's opened Colossus. And I just want to get like a decent count of Viking. But then I want to go into Liberators because a lot of Protoss at this level are going for Disruptors. And I want to have access to that tech just in case he goes Disruptor. And if he doesn't go for Disruptor, then I'm going to use these as Harass. So I'm just kind of playing a very safe style against everything is the idea. Okay, I just did a scan. Okay, now I actually know he's playing Disruptor, so I'm going to make more Liberators. And just again, I didn't get my upgrades. Huge noob. But we are setting up for a pretty sick timing. We just have 1-1 finishing up. And we want to be doing a push on Protoss's 4th. So I should be doing that very, very shortly. I think I'm waiting for these Liberators, actually. But now that we have these, I should be moving out. And the way I like to do this is put the Liberators and the Vikings on the same key. So I have those on 0, which is actually my tilde key. It's not 0. I don't micro with the 0 key. That'd be insane. So those are on tilde. But I put those and I just follow a medevac. So it's kind of like I'm just moving one army key right now, like an all army hotkey, but it's 2 so that when the fight starts, I can micro a little better. Alright, I'm scanning a bunch here. This is actually the most unlucky shit ever. Holy crap. I had no idea in the game. That's crazy. I'm scanning here because the Terran army is super fragile. You don't really need to do this with Protoss or Zerg, but whenever you play Terran, you have to know where they are because you have to pre-set up the engagements. So use your scans super liberally.
Research complete.
Okay, we're coming in. We see his army now. We know he's kind of out of position. He didn't take this 4th. I might have rotated over there, but I saw an opening. He wasn't in position, so I'm going to try to get into like kind of like a concave here and then fight him is the idea. So I set up my Liberators. I had units targeting this shield battery, and I didn't want to move them, but the problem is that my units were right under the Liberators. And so if I move these guys like over here, the Liberators might have unsieged. I wasn't exactly sure when they were starting their siege and couldn't be moved. So I basically just bailed because it wasn't going very well. But ideally I wanted to take this fight. So things didn't work out, so I'm just kind of bailing on this fight. And I want to pause actually again because you'll see here this Protoss has like no stalkers. And this is so common in Diamond and Masters, it's actually like really annoying. They're cutting the corners so hard. And I think this is why most people are frustrated with this matchup, because Protoss at this MMR just don't give a shit. They don't care about safety at all. They're just getting like all the upgrades and a Dark Shrine and a Colossus and Templar. So they just like don't make any stalkers ever. And the way you punish this is with units that are pretty good against stalkers or against drops, or like with drops. So the easiest way is just start making Liberators. Like if you're not making Liberators against Protoss and Diamond or Masters, you should start, because it's the easiest way to punish them. But if you're better, then you can do lots of drops, and that's also a pretty good way to punish them. Okay, so just baiting a couple Disruptor shots here. He has no Stalkers, so all his Colossus die. And I was going to run up here. I didn't realize, I think he landed like 2 more Force Field or something. I don't know. These are taking forever to come off cooldown, so I just bailed. And I'm just going to set up for a little bit of a later attack instead. Just rotate, maybe heal up my Marine Marauder a little bit, get a couple more Disruptor, and then we're going to go again. This is probably when I realized that I was a potato earlier and didn't get my upgrades, but now I'm getting them. Another stim here. Again, I don't think this stim is good, and I also fumbled here. What I should have done is move commanded back real quick and then box these guys. But instead what I tried to do is like pull these guys and then grab these ones and move them. And I misclicked the second box. So this is like the worst situation ever. However, he doesn't jump on me. And so as bad as these storms were, they actually don't matter unless he fights me, because you can just heal them all up. So not that bad after all. But definitely some terrible micro to me. Okay, now we got our Lib sieged up. We're forcing him to make lots of Stalkers, which means he can't make any good units like High Templar or Disruptors. He's basically super poor now, which is exactly what we want. And he's forced to fight us, so he has to come into these Lib zones. So when I stim, target his Disruptors, and completely mailed him. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this replay. He's pretty much screwed here. We just have way too much bio, and he's going to tap out. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Actually, I want to go... One sec, hold up. We got one more thing to show you. But yeah, he's definitely screwed here. He's going to leave. Over here, I was dealing with some DTs. Let me go back and show you that. Totally forgot this is one of the things I wanted to cover. Okay, let's ignore that fight for a second. Back here, what I usually do is drop a turret right here. I don't know why I didn't this game, actually. Okay, never mind. I have one here. So I have a turret going down just because it should be more over here. Because DTs are pretty common. And I also have like a little mini wall here. Sometimes I put a bunker as well, just to force the DTs to come to like this zone. This is the zone you need to cover. If you're not covering this zone with a turret, then what's going to happen is you can get like 1 DT in here, 1 DT in here, and 1 DT in here before you realize. Then you're screwed. So don't let that happen. There's no way to deal with that effectively. You have to deal with it right here. So put a turret like here or something, somewhere in this zone. And oh, that's actually a sensor tower. Put a turret here, and then it's going to be a lot easier to deal with these DTs. But yeah, centralizing, there we go, much better. And then it's pretty easy to deal with DTs. So you can you don't even need to be watching. The DTs will just run right by your turret, and you'll have your rally point set here, and then yeah, and then they just die. So nice extra tip for you guys. I'm realizing now this replay is just me making blunder after blunder. So hopefully you guys learned something from my my weak Terran play. And yeah, like the video, subscribe. I'm gonna have more Terran games coming this week, and I should be a little more in practice. So I'll have some great lessons coming up. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.